Good evening, students. Today we will solve some questions regarding this chapter, that is matter around us pure. This chapter were completed. Total 3 lectures were posted previously regarding this chapter, and today in this session we will solve some questions from your NCERT textbook. I have collected some questions from your NCERT exercises and your in-text questions, and today we will solve those questions. So the first question is your list the point of differences. List the point of differences between homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. So the first question is, list the point of differences between homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. This question is given in your NCERT exercise. Clear? So just make a column. Here it is a homogeneous mixtures, and in right side you will write heterogeneous mixtures. Heterogeneous mixtures. Now what is homogeneous mixture? The homogeneous mixture, that is, composition is uniform. The composition in this type of mixture is uniform throughout the solution, and in case of heterogeneous mixture, here the composition is non-uniform. That is, at all point of solution the composition is not same. Clear? So homogeneous is it is uniform composition. That is, the first point is uniform composition. Uniform composition throughout the mixture. Uniform composition throughout the mixture. And in case of heterogeneous mixture, its composition is non-uniform. So its composition is non-uniform composition throughout the mixture. Clear? Number two point will be the constituent elements. The constituent elements or constituents, you cannot separate the constituents from homogeneous mixture. You cannot separate the constituents from homogeneous mixture by any simple physical method. Clear? The constituents from which the homogeneous mixture is made of, we cannot separate the constituents by simple physical measure. On the other hand, in case of heterogeneous mixture, the constituents can be separated. The constituents can be separated by physical method. So the second difference would be constituents cannot be separated. Constituents cannot be separated by simple physical methods. Clear? Constituents cannot be separated by simple physical methods. In case of heterogeneous, constituents can be separated. So constituents can be separated by simple physical method. By simple physical method. Constituents can be separated by simple physical method. Next example, we will give an example of homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture means salt in water, that is salt solution, sugar in water, that is sugar solution. All these are a homogeneous mixture. So we can write salt in water, sugar in water. These two are homogeneous mixture. And in case of heterogeneous mixture, example, what is the example? For example, oil in water. This is a heterogeneous mixture because these two never mixes each other. These two never mixes with each other. So oil in water, it is a heterogeneous mixture. And we can give the sodium chloride. Also we can provide example, sodium chloride, that is salt, and iron fillings, this is also and example of heterogeneous mixture, sodium chloride and iron chloride. So this is the point of differences between homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Clear? Next question, just write it down or take a screenshot. I will then move to the next question. So next question is, all these questions are based on your NCERT textbook and your in-text question. Total 4 to 5 questions important, and the rest of the questions you can easily solve by yourself. So the next question is it is a numerical question, a small numerical that can be asked in the exam. So numerical is to make a standard solution, or you can say to make a saturated solution, standard or saturated, to make a saturated solution 36 gram of sodium chloride, 36 gram of sodium chloride is dissolved, 36 gram of sodium chloride is dissolved in 100 gram of water at the temperature, suppose it is 293 Kelvin. It says 293 Kelvin. That means to make a saturated solution, 36 gram of sodium chloride is dissolved in 100 gram of water at 293 Kelvin. The question says find its concentration, at this temperature. The question is asking that find its concentration at this temperature. Clear? The question says find its concentration at this temperature. So to find concentration, there is a formula. What is the formula of concentration? That is, the formula of concentration says mass of solute divided by mass of solvent. Clear? In those 3 lectures that were posted regarding this chapter, I have already provided the formulas how to derive concentration of a solution. So the formula was concentration of a solution, the formula is mass of solute divided by the mass of solvent into 100. That will gives you the concentration of the solution. Clear? So let's first calculate the mass of solute. So here the solute is your sodium chloride, because sodium chloride is dissolved in 100 gram of water. So that means sodium chloride is the solute and water is your solvent. So mass of solute is already given 36 gram and mass of solvent is already given in 100 gram. That means first we will write mass of solute, that is mass of solute. Solute means here sodium chloride. So mass of solute is given as 36 gram and mass of solvent, this is water, mass of solvent is water, it is given as 100 gram. So mass of solution, what is the mass of solution? Mass of solution will be mass of solute plus mass of solvent, because solution means solute plus solvent. So mass of solution will be mass of solute plus mass of solvent, that means 136 gram. Now what is the concentration of the solution? Therefore the formula says concentration of solution will be mass of the solute, that is 36 by mass of solution, that is 136 into 100%. That is concentration will be mass of the solute divided by mass of the solution into 100%. So just calculate, just reduce the value. 2 18s are 36, 2 68, 2 9s are 18, 2 34s are 68. That means 900 by 34%. If you solve this, that is 34 2s are 68 to 0 6 decimal 0 and this is 4 are 144 4 7, almost 26.47%. If you solve 900 by 34%, this will gives you almost 26.47%. So this is the answer. This is the concentration of the solution. Clear? So this was your question number 2. Next question number 3. Question number 3 says, how will you separate a mixture containing kerosene and petrol? How will you separate a mixture of kerosene and petrol which are miscible with each other? The question is, how will you separate a mixture containing kerosene and petrol which are miscible with each other? So that is, miscible means they can be mixed with each other. So petrol and kerosene both are liquid, but they can be mixed with each other. Clear? So how will we separate? The process is simple distillation. By this process we will separate a mixture of kerosene and petrol, because kerosene and petrol both are liquid, but they differentiate in their boiling points. Because the kerosene and petrol, the difference of these two liquid in boiling point is almost more than 24 degrees centigrade. That means the boiling point difference between these two liquid is greater than 25 degrees centigrade. So we will use this physical data or physical method to separate these two mixtures, and the process by which these two mixtures is separated is simple distillation. So the answer will be, we will separate these two mixtures by simple distillation process, because the difference of boiling points between kerosene and petrol is more than 24 degrees centigrade. That's why we will choose simple distillation method to separate these two mixtures. Although these two are miscible with each other, that's why we will do simple distillation, which is based on the boiling point of the two liquids, because the boiling point is almost, the difference of boiling point is almost more than 25 degrees centigrade. Clear? Next. Next question is, name the technique to separate. We have to write the technique name to separate. The first question is, butter from curd. How can we separate butter from curd? Clear? Next, salt from seawater. Next, camphor this is O, camphor from salt. So how can we separate, or we have to write the technique name to separate these three process. So butter from curd is actually separated by centrifugation. The technique name is centrifugation. Clear? Next, salt from seawater. This is easy. This is separated by evaporation. And camphor from salt, it is separated by sublimation. So these three techniques, butter from curd is separated by centrifugation, salt from seawater separated by evaporation, and camphor from salt, it is separated by sublimation. Clear? Next. Next question. Next question is classify the following as chemical or physical change. Classify the following as chemical or physical change. So the first change is given: cutting of trees. Cutting of trees. Number 2 given: melting of butter. Melting of butter in a pan. Number 3 given: rusting of almirah. Rusting of almirah. Number 4 given as boiling of water to form steam. Boiling of water to form steam. Number 5, passing of electric current through water and water breaking down into hydrogen and oxygen gas. Whenever electric current is passed through water, it is separated into hydrogen and oxygen gas. So we have to classify this change. Next change is dissolving common salt in water. Dissolving common salt in water. Next change is making a fruit salad with raw fruits. Making a fruit salad with raw fruits. Last one, that is number 8, is burning of paper and wood. Burning of paper and wood. Clear? So we have to classify all these changes as physical change or chemical change. Now you know what is physical change and what is chemical change. So I will not go into details. In the previous lessons, all those 3 lessons that were posted, I have already told you what is physical change and what is chemical change. So I will just classify these changes as physical change or chemical changes. Now cutting of trees. Cutting of trees is your physical change. Cutting of trees is a physical change. Melting of butter in a pan, this is also physical change. If you have seen all these 3 sessions, you can easily identify why these changes are physical change. Clear? Rusting of almirah, this is chemical change. Next, boiling of water to form steam. Boiling of water to form steam, this is a physical change. This is a physical change. Next, passing of electric current through water and water breaking down into hydrogen and oxygen gas, this is a chemical change. This is a chemical change. Next, dissolving common salt in water, this is physical change. Next, making a fruit salad with raw fruits, this is also physical change. Next, burning of paper and wood, this is chemical change. Clear? So cutting of trees, this is physical change. Melting of butter in a pan, this is also physical change. Rusting of almirah, chemical change. Boiling of water to form steam, this is physical change. Passing of electric current through water and water breaking down into hydrogen and oxygen gas, this is chemical change. Dissolving common salt in water, this is physical change. Making a fruit salad with raw fruits, this is physical change. And burning of paper and wood, last, this is chemical change. Clear? Next, question. Next question. Classify the following. Classify the following into elements, compounds and mixtures. Classify the following into elements, compounds and mixtures. Clear? So compounds given, the first compound is given as sodium. Next compound given as soil. Next compound or element is given as salt, suppose salt solution. Salt solution. Next given as silver. Next given as calcium carbonate. Next given as tea. Next given as silicon. Next given as coal. This is C, coal. Next given as air. Next given as soap. Next given as methane. Next given as carbon dioxide. Next given as last, this is blood. Clear? So we will classify these elements or compounds or mixtures into elements, compounds and mixtures. Some compounds, you can say compounds, you can say mixtures, because in this the following are, some are elements, some are compounds and some are mixtures, so we have to classify them into elements, compounds and mixtures. Clear? So just first let make a check box like element, compound and mixtures. Elements, compounds and mixtures. Now what are elements? Elements are those substances that cannot be broken into more simpler substance. Elements are those substances that cannot be broken into more simpler substances, because these are already simple. Elements are already simple. Those elements cannot be broken down into more simpler substances, because elements are already simpler substances. Clear? What are compounds? When two or more elements combine together chemically, then they are known as compounds. When two or more elements combine chemically in a fixed ratio, then they are termed as compounds. And what are mixtures? Two or more compounds when mixed together, they are known as mixtures. Clear? So these are the bookish definition. Clear? So we will now classify these elements or compounds or mixtures into respective columns. So the first one is a sodium. Now sodium, it is a metal. Clear? Sodium, it is a metal. That means it is already a metal, because sodium cannot be broken down into simpler substances or more simpler substances, because it is already simple as it is a metal. Therefore sodium will be your element. Clear? Next given as soil. Now soil, it is a mixture, clearly, because soil there are various kind of compounds mixed together. Clear? So soil is clearly is a mixture. So in mixture column we will write this is soil. Next, salt solution. The next one is our salt solution. This is a salt solution is actually a mixture. Salt solution means there is a salt and there is a water. Clear? So salt solution is clearly is a mixture. So salt solution is a mixture. Clear? Next, silver. Silver, it is a liquid metal. Silver it is a metal, not liquid, it is a metal. Clear? So silver, it is a metal. It is actually the costliest, and it can conduct electricity very well. The two metals, they are good conductor of electricity. One is the silver and another one is the copper, and between these two, silver is the more conductivity in nature than copper. So silver, it is a metal, it is not liquid, it is metal, solid metal. Clear? So silver will be your element column. It is in the element column. Clear? So there are two elements, sodium, silver, and two mixtures, soil and salt solution. Next, calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, it is a compound, because the formula of calcium carbonate is actually CaCO3. That means there is a calcium, there is a carbon, there is a oxygen. That means these three are actually elements. Calcium is an element, carbon is an element, oxygen is an element. That means three elements. So by the definition of compounds, when two or more elements mix together, they are termed as compounds. So this is a compound, calcium carbonate is a compound. So calcium carbonate is a compound. Calcium carbonate. Next one is a tin. So tin, it is a metal. It is a metal, that means it cannot be broken down into more simpler substances. So we will write tin here in element section. Next, silicon. Silicon, it is also a metal. So we will write silicon in element section. We will write silicon in element section. Next one is given as coal. Next one is given as coal. Now coal, it is a mixture, because the main content of coal is carbon, and apart from carbon, various other constituents are mixed in coal. So it is termed as mixture. So coal is actually our mixtures. Clear? Next is air. Air is definitely a mixture, because air is composed of various gases. Air is composed of various gases. There is nitrogen, there is oxygen, there is carbon dioxide. So air is definitely a mixture. Clear? Next is soap. Soap is also a mixture. Soap is also a mixture, because soap is composed of mainly bases. Soap is mainly composed of bases, and various kinds of bases are mixed in soap. So soap is actually our mixtures. Clear? Next is given methane. Methane, the formula of methane is CH4. That is methane, it is a gas. Clear? Methane, the formula of methane is CH4. It is a gas actually. So it is composed of carbon and hydrogen. Methane is composed of carbon and hydrogen, and both of these are elements. Carbon is an element, hydrogen is an element. That means two elements are grouped together to form methane gas. So by the definition of compound, when two or more elements group together to form any kind of substance, they are termed as compounds. So methane will be your compounds, because their two elements are mixed. One is carbon and one is hydrogen. So methane will be your compound. So methane is our compounds. Next one is carbon dioxide. Formula is CO2. Now in carbon dioxide, one element is carbon and the another element is oxygen. So this is also compound, because we cannot say these element, because carbon dioxide can be, you can break carbon dioxide into more simpler form. Clear? So carbon dioxide cannot be elements, because the elements are that cannot be broken down into simpler substances, but carbon dioxide can be broken down. That means this is not element, and carbon dioxide contains carbon and oxygen. Both of these are elements. So these are grouped together, that means these are compounds. By the definition of compound, we can say carbon dioxide is a compound. So we will write in compound section carbon dioxide. Clear? Next one is a blood. Next one is the blood. So blood is definitely a mixture, because in blood maximum content is there water and plasma. There is plasma, there is water and many other fluid substances present in blood. So blood is definitely a mixture. Blood is definitely a mixture. Clear? So the elements are sodium, silver, tin, silicon. Compounds are calcium carbonate, methane, carbon dioxide, and mixtures are soil, salt solution, coal, air, soap and blood. Clear? So that's all for today. These are the some important questions given your NCERT textbook and in text part. The rest of the questions will be solved by yourself, and if there is any problem, just let me know and I will solve these questions. So that's all for today. Take care.